Okay, I attempted to do a little rehearsal before this, and it's not really going well. So I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to try to keep this way shorter than yesterday's. So yesterday morning, you know how I woke up because I was talking to you. It was a good day. It was a full day. Um, I have a day job, so I have to work this into the nooks and crannies of my life, and that's one of the selling points, really, of doing this is that you can do that. So I did. I had a lot of nooks and crannies, and I filled them up very well. In the morning, I got on social media and I socialized. Fancy that. I read the posts that were made in the different groups I'm a part of. I have a couple of groups I started myself just so I could make sure that I never get kicked out of them. It has happened once or twice. And I socialized. I reached out to a couple of those folks directly via chat. One whom I had seen in the past had posted about being in pain before he went to bed, so I wanted to talk to him. He listened politely and politely declined. So I asked him if he knew anyone else and to keep me in mind and and connect me up with them. And he said we had a deal. So he was polite about that. And there's those referrals that I was listening to a video. Excuse me. Here I go again with the voice thing. I was listening to Tara's video. Tara, I think it Wilson. I could be mistaken on that. Where she said she's gotten all of her network built through referrals. She's never made a cold call in 10 years, which I think is awesome and amazing. And it's probably something we young people, young LifeVantage people, don't tap into often enough, and that is get to know who the people we talk to, who do they know, and leverage that because they know a lot of people. So I did the socializing. I reached out to someone I didn't know at all who sells seeds online, and I like to collect seeds, not just collect them, I like to plant them too, of course. And I told him I thought he had a good entrepreneurial spirit and he would be perfect for a business I'd like to show him. He politely declined to even allow me to show it to him and said that he has all of his money and time invested in his foraging business, and that is going to be what takes him where he wants to be. Now, I can't see that, but he can see that. That's his vision. So, okay. So I did that. Um, I then received a call from my mentor in my adopted family, who he's very good at building me up and encouraging me in the things that I'm doing right. And he's very good at correcting me in things in a very gentle way that help me. And one of the things he told me is that I saw your video. I think it's great what you're doing. You're encouraging other people by making some of your actions public in this way. He said, but I want to caution you, make sure you're spending your time, for the most part, in things that are going to benefit you and help you reach your goals. And he even asked me specifically, what are your goals this week? And you know what? I didn't have a good answer. How, how strange is that? And then he said, well, what are your goals for this month? And I did not have a good answer. I've been functioning on the idea of I just want to go forward. Okay, well, that's a good idea. But he's right, you got to have specific goals. And he reiterated again what I always hear. You got to make 15 exposures a month, minimum. And that's so crucial if we're going to actually have success. So I got that advice, and I applied that. And and then I got a call from somebody else on my team who is a bit younger in both ways, probably in LifeVantage and chronologically. And he was just calling to say hi, but it turned into kind of a role reversal in the sense that I then found myself mentoring him and encouraging him and telling him all the same things that have been told to me. And it felt really good. It felt really interesting because I did not expect to find myself wearing that hat suddenly out of the blue like that. And you know, one of the things that mentoring someone else does is it induces you to want to grow more and to be more cognizant of the fact that you have to be putting on these skills because people are looking to you. And they need your help. They need your input. They need your example, right? So Another thing that happened is my wife and I and my son were getting ready to go to dinner, and I asked my wife, how much time do I have before you're ready to leave? She said 20 minutes. So I went and sat in front of my computer where I had our database list open, and I had things I could have done with that 20 minutes that were legitimate. But instead, I told myself, you know what, I'm going to make some calls. I'm going to do the thing that I hear everybody else talking about, that they're always making calls. And so I filled that 20 minutes with phone calls. I called, you know who I called? I called my attorney. I had him on my list, my unbiased list. As chicken as I was to do it, I called him. And I expected to get his voicemail, so I wasn't too intimidated by it because I was just going to be able to leave a voicemail. But he answered. And he said, oh, I was just thinking about you. I was going to call you about some paperwork or whatnot. And he said, is that why you called me? And I said, no, actually it isn't. I forgot all about that paperwork. I was calling you to see if you're interested in, if you're open to any other business opportunities. I have something I'd like you to take a look at. I respect you highly. You're a very intelligent man. We've worked together for a while. Anyway, we had this short conversation. He asked me outright, is this MLM? And I could hear it in his voice. And I said, yes, it is. The business model is network marketing for this company. And then I advised him that you don't have to be a part of the business to be a consumer of the product. And he perked up a little bit. Bottom line, I invited him to an in-home meeting on Thursday. He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. He did say, text me the information and the time, and so I did. So that was kind of interesting for me because that's something I would not normally do, call my attorney and invite him to a meeting. I also called a friend during that 20-minute period. I called my son during that 20-minute period and told him bring all of his friends. He's an adult, so he's got I should say chronologically adult friends to the meeting. He said he would. We shall see. I've heard that before. I watched some videos. After we went to dinner and got back home, I watched a couple of videos waiting for a call that I had scheduled, a long-distance presentation at 8 o'clock with a friend in Houston. And I had a third-party validator lined up. I chatted with her ahead of time. We called. I got voicemail. I called a little bit later, got voicemail. So that was a little bit of a letdown. And then I went to bed early with my son and I went to bed early. And right before I fell asleep, I got a call from my brother, who's a distributor up in Kansas City, and he's awesome at what he does. He's a great example. He's my younger brother, so when we were younger, I used to beat him up. But now I look up to him quite a bit, and we don't fight like that anymore. So he called me all excited because he just signed up a platinum distributor, another one. And, here's where something was revealed in me yet again, that sometimes when I hear of others' successes like that, when I should be rejoicing with them, I find myself a little, I don't know if it's perturbed or it's more so discouraged. Because I don't know how many he's got now. He's got a lot. He's had great success. And he's worked hard for it. He deserves it. But I find myself a little discouraged. And what I'm going to end this video with is saying that thus far in my LifeVantage distributor business building journey, I have been and am walking almost exclusively by faith. I see the others who are where I want to be. I believe them when they tell me if you do this, this, and this, it will happen for you. And yet, to date, it hasn't happened to any great degree. But I'm going to continue walking by faith, and I encourage all of you who are not where you want to be yet and have not yet experienced the glowing successes of all those around you, continue to walk by faith. Believe them. They're doing it. They've done it. They're where you want to be. You can see them with your eyeballs and hear them with your ears. And you can feel their love for you and their hope and desire for your success as well. Continue walking by faith. Let's do it. Let's just keep on going. I mean, what is the alternative, right? We probably ought to think about that on occasion. What is the alternative to stop walking by faith? It's failure, utter failure. There's only failure waiting for those who stop. We don't want to fail. We didn't start this to fail, right? We started this to succeed. So keep on walking the walk. Thanks. I'll talk to you tomorrow.